Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so excited to make another video for you. I honestly think I'm addicted to making YouTube videos. Let's see how many I can get up. Just kidding, kinda. Anyways, today is a little lunch or dinner. You can really have this anytime. Breakfast, why not? Is my all-time favorite warm kale salad. So it has some mushrooms, it has some apple, kale, we have a little bit of spinach today too, my favorite cashew parmesan cheese, super easy to make, and then we'll make the dressing with a little shallot and some vinegar and wine. It's really easy, and it's just, you know, a really awesome way to get a salad in during the winter because it's not, you know, it's nice and warm, but it's also got all those nutrients and the little coolness from the apple and everything. And then today we're also going to add in a little bit of persimmon. This is a funkayyyy persimmon. If you haven't had them before, they're really yummy. There's two different kinds. There's the chia, I think, which is kind of the longer one that's pointed at the bottom. Those ones are better for baking, not good for eating raw. So you want to get the funkayyyy. They're the flat little ones that kind of look like a little tomato. And these you can actually just slice up and eat raw. You can eat the skin and everything. They're so yummy. They have like a really mild sweet flavor. So anyways, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and cut up my mushrooms and my shallot, and we're going to get a little oil in the pan and get things cooking. So I'm going to add a little olive oil, just kind of coat the pan, and we're going to cook the mushrooms first. And then once the mushrooms are done, we are going to set them aside, and we're going to keep the same pan. We're not going to clean it. We're going to keep the same pan, and we're going to start making the warm shallot vinaigrette. And this is a shallot, if you haven't seen one before. It's kind of like a small onion. They're really good. They're kind of like mild. They almost have like a sweetness to them, kind of. It's hard to describe. Anyways, you could use a white onion for this, or a yellow onion, or even red onion. Red onion's generally best raw, but you can totally cook with it too. So anyways, we're heating up the oil in the pan, so I'm going to start by slicing my mushrooms. And when you have mushrooms, you don't want to run them under water because they're like little sponges and they'll soak it all up, and then when you cook them, they'll release it and get really watery, and it's really hard to brown them that way. So instead, you can just take a paper towel and you can just wipe off the mushroom. So you can keep the stems on, and I'm just going to cut these into, I like mine in bite-sized chunks. You can slice them into like typical mushroom slices too if you want, whatever, you know, strikes your fancy. So, bite-sized chunks while our oil is heating. And once it's ready, we'll just toss these guys in. And we're just gonna let them cook for a few minutes, and we'll prep everything else while they're cooking. You kind of want to leave them be, again, so they get kind of brown. And we're going to wait until the end to salt them, because if you salt them, sometimes it can help release more of that water, and you have that same issue where there's just too much liquid in the pan. So, chop up our shallot. So a little tip with the shallot and cutting any onion, you want to cut off the not root end, the opposite of the root end. I don't really know what you can call that. And then we'll remove the outside casing. And you can use half of a shallot to a whole shallot, depending on how much onion you like. I personally like a lot of onion in mine, so whatever works. And then you just kind of cut it. You can't really see, can you? So you want to cut into the onion like this, make little slices. And then holding it, here, let me adjust this a little bit so you can see a little better. And then while holding it, you're gonna make slices into the onion. So, here we go again. Horizontally, and then the vertical slits and horizontal. And then when you go to slice it, if you can see that, you have nice little minced pieces of shallot. It's little chef's tip for you. I learned that at the cooking school. So if you didn't know, I work at a cooking school part-time. That's like my little side gig. It's super fun. School, so you should sign up and come see me. It's really fun. I'm an assistant there. So anyway, so we're starting to brown here, so we're gonna flip some of them over. They don't have to be perfect. And then while those are still cooking, we're going to keep prepping our other goodies. So, apple, and I want, again, kind of bite-sized chunks, and I'm not going to cut up the whole apple just because it might be a little bit too much. If you're making enough for 2 people, I would go ahead and do a whole apple, otherwise you don't. So I'm just making, I'll show you, kind of like little bite-sized chunks. That's probably about half a cup. Maybe a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more. And this is really good because it gives it kind of the salty sweetness. Alright. And then I'm going to cut up my persimmon. So I'm just going to cut off the top, just like that. And then I'm going to cut slices. So you just want, oops, like little slices like so. They just look so pretty. The beautiful orange color. And our mushrooms are almost done. Alright. Try a little of this guy. So good. I don't even know how to explain it. You just have to go buy a couple the next time you're at the store. Okay, so our mushrooms are looking good. You can kind of see they're getting brown. So now I'm going to toss in a pinch of salt and then a few cracks of pepper. And then we're going to toss these around a little bit, cook them for a couple more minutes. And then when those are done, again, we're going to set them aside. So we can start getting our greens ready. I have a bowl prepared. We are going to warm the greens in the dressing when we're ready, but I just like to get them ready to go in a bowl so that I don't have to worry about it when the dressing's done. So here I have some spinach, and then I also have some kale. So with the kale, I have this pre-chopped, you can see in my bag, pre-chopped, with a paper towel in here to soak up the moisture. So pre-washed, pre-chopped, so it's ready to go. I highly recommend doing this as like a meal prep. Super fast, takes what, like 10 minutes to do this. And you're way more likely to eat it if it's already pre-done for you. And you can throw it in salads, you can put it in stir fries, you can throw it in soups, you can do it in anything. So easy. Alright, so our mushrooms are done, so I have just a little bowl and I'm just going to toss them in the bowl. And while our pan is still hot, I'm going to turn it down just a skosh. It was on like medium-ish, a little over medium. I'm going to turn it down to more like medium-low. I'm going to put in more olive oil. So this is going to be the olive oil component to our dressing. So it should be a pretty decent amount. And that should heat up really quickly because our pan is already hot. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw in the shallots right away. You can hear them sizzle. And so the idea is that we're not browning necessarily the shallots. We're just gently cooking them until they get kind of soft. So if they're cooking too fast and they're starting to brown, turn your pan down a little bit. All right. And then into the dressing, we're going to do a little bit of whole grain Dijon mustard. You can do regular Dijon mustard if you don't have the whole grain. And then normally I use apple today I'm going to use red wine vinegar because I'm out of apple cider vinegar. So, but that's great. This will be really delicious with the red wine as well. And then we're also going to top it with nuts. And then, again, my favorite cashew parmesan that I make. Super easy. All right, so I can smell the shallots, and they're starting to get soft. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my Dijon. So whole grain mustard, I'm putting about a little more than a half teaspoon. And I like to whisk this in, so grab a whisk if you have one. You can also use a fork. And so mustard's in, and then now we're going to do some of the vinegar. And you can use really any vinegar. Again, I like to use the red wine. I'm doing probably 2 teaspoons-ish. And I'm just going to, while it's still hot, whisk it in. It smells so good, the vinegar and the mustard. I'm going to do another pinch of salt in this and a few cracks of pepper. And you just kind of want to warm it through. You don't need to cook it down too much. It'll cook down slightly, but we're just getting it kind of warmed through. I'm also going to add a little bit of date syrup. So this is date syrup. I use this in my, well, chai tea, not coffee anymore. I was using it in my coffee when I was drinking coffee. This is a great sweetener for anything. It's low glycemic. It's made straight from dates. It's literally all it has in it. Organic dates, that's it. And I'm just going to add just a little tiny touch, like a 1/4 teaspoon of the date syrup. You could use honey. You can use agave syrup. Not a huge fan of agave, but honey and date syrup are the two that I generally recommend. All right, so we're ready. And actually, I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil in here. And then I'm gonna toss in my greens. And we're just going to kind of wilt these down just a touch. We're gonna kind of warm them up to get that warm salad goodness. So yummy. So the spinach will start to wilt, and this is good for, you know, if you want to eat more kale, but you find that it's a little too hearty. This kind of brings down that kind of, I don't know what to call it, when you feel like you're eating a plant straight from the ground, like a cow or a dinosaur, I guess. Is that a horrible reference? Whatever. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. So it's really good. It kind of releases some of the stiffness of the green. All right, so that looks good. As you can see, these things start to darken. They start to wilt down. Super yummy. So we're gonna talk. Okay, I got cut off call, but I added, once my greens were wilted, I added in the mushrooms back into the bowl. I put in apples. Regular Parmesan too if you are eating dairy. Some freshly cracked black pepper, and it's ready to be eaten. How good does that look? Yeah, so this is just an easy way. I mean, what, it takes less than 15 minutes to throw this together. Not only that, you can make this for like family get-togethers or when you have people over for dinner. It's so beautiful and easy, and I'm telling you, you're gonna get addicted. It's the best salad ever. So good. Salty, sweet, crunchy. It hits everything. Warm. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and I hope you liked my little cooking segment. I'm so excited that you're here and that you're watching, so stay tuned for more videos and more cooking demos. And again, please leave in the comments more stuff you'd like to see, or if you enjoyed the video. I'd love your feedback and your support. And yeah, so have a great day. I'm gonna go smash this salad. I'm starving, and I'll see you soon.